Hello everyone and welcome to week 4 of building Erebor. Now I just want to say that I am super excited that we are finally getting into the flow of things. You know, week 1, 2, and 3 were more of the beginnings of this, but now week 4 kind of debuts the start of what will be a really exciting experience going on in the future. I think we're at the point where we've made a significant amount of progress where it's really starting to take shape. Now, in the last update, we were focusing a lot on the river and the beginnings of the path. And then at the end of that video, I talked about how we were going to be kind of completing that river or building on it in the next week. So, unfortunately, we aren't going to be doing that in this update. First reason being that I am still awaiting some fairly crucial BricLink orders, so I can't really do anything until they come. And then second, my friend came over and we had some pretty intense discussions about Erebor, and we came to the conclusion that there was something very significant that we needed to do. So that's what we did this week. So we actually pretty much destroyed at least half of Erebor and pretty much just remodeled it. Now, I just want to say before we get in and we explain all these things, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and if this is your first time watching these building Erebor videos, I suggest you go back to week 1. That way you kind of understand what we're doing here and you get a better idea coming into week 4. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so kicking things off, you can immediately see that we have a lot of change since last week. Now you can look at here at Dale and you can tell that it looks completely different. Now let me explain a little bit of what happened. So basically, Dale before came up along this base plate and was very angular. And then there was a little bit of a curve about right here, but I didn't feel that felt like it was up on a mountain, because if I just show you up here, this is my original plans that I drew, and you can see what Dale looks like, and it doesn't look angular at all. And I spoke a lot about how it was built up a little bit rocky. And so I kind of looked back at week 1, 2, and 3 and realized there was nothing that I had put that made it look in any way like it was on a hill. So that's what me and my friend kind of did. We wrecked Dale basically, and we rebuilt it, and I think the results look so much better. So I'll just start over here at this kind of building. Right here, this is the same watchtower as in the last video in, I'm just going to say the old Dale version. And you can also see that it has the ladders right there as well, or the steps, whatever you want to call them. So that's the same building. The wall designs are exactly the same because, like I said in previous videos, I really like that. So that's why that kept the same. But now you can see here that there's a brand new rock wall that stretches all the way around over there. So if I talk a little bit more about, basically our plan was, we start up here at about, I think that's 6 bricks high. And then we're going to gradually move down. So you can see the rocks gradually get shorter until there's hardly any down there. Reason being for that is because the path, which looks a little bit different here, needs to get up to Dale. And we thought that if it was all up at this level of 6 bricks or 5 bricks high, the path would be very, very steep. And we didn't really want that. So we came up with this where it comes down in gradual stages, where I think it turned out really nice. So you can see here also, this is a little... Again, I don't know if you can see there, but there's a little glint of blue, I think you can tell in there. And that's going to be the crystal cave kind of thing. It's just a little gimmick that we put in there because we thought it was kind of cool. So it really blends in well. You see it, but it doesn't look too blunt and like distracting from everything else. Now you can also see that what we did is do an overhead view. The rock wall not only goes down, but it also curves inwards because, like I said with this design, is it is on a curve. So I think we achieved that pretty well. So the curve goes in by one every time. Same repeating rock wall design. So as well as it going down. So you can see that it goes down as well as curving in. Now also we wanted to make the rock a little bit more interesting than just plain dark gray. Just why we just threw in a few patches of light gray here and there to break it up, as well as some few other shades of green. And then also we have plans for the mountain, which we will talk about in a little bit, but first I want to focus on Deal. So moving down around here, this is to give it more of an abrupt curve because it's really not going to be reasonable or realistic to make the curve out of these. And I think it's fine just using this piece right here. It fits well with everything else. Obviously it's not finished, but it's kind of a basis for where everything is going. And the curve in the rock is decent as well. So moving over here, which is probably what you guys are thinking about, is going to be the entrance. So if you remember, the entrance was originally a lot bigger. It was double this, so it was 4 wide because then that way minifigures could cross it, and it was more like a walkway above the archway. I made it skinnier mostly so it can fit with the scale. I think it goes much better with this. Also, this kind of you can see that it's slanted because before, again, it was really angular and we didn't like that at all. So we wanted to give it a little bit more depth, and also it just makes the whole MOC as a whole just make it feel like it's got that little bit better level of quality, like better building techniques. So we had to use hinges for this, and I think it turned out good. For a first kind of prototype-ish, it might change a little bit. You can see that we wanted to just add a little bit of detail, which is what we did right there, kind of breaking up the normal flat bricks. Then it curves around over here where there is one of the last wall segments, and then there's that building right there, which is, if you've probably guessed, gonna be the same thing as this building right here, which is kind of half broken apart. And well, it will be taller than that, but just so that you guys get the idea, that building will be about right there, and then it will be possibly about this tall. So that's where that building goes. And then moving on to the inside of this. So in the inside, this is kind of what it looks like. And I just want to point out, because this is going to be more of a flat wall, because it kind of continues what the rock is, because the whole Dale is going to be built up to this level, I wanted to break it up a little bit. And I just put, like, you know, just another gimmick, like my friend built the crystal caves. I built this little thing right here that just has a gold... like gold stone or whatever. It just breaks up the whole thing. So on the inside of Dale, this is what it looks like. You can see that the inside of the walls are the same as they were before, except instead of them being 2 together, they're now each one its own little separate thing that can be removed like this. So they were all just built like that, and then it helps us make it how we want, like that. This is how it's built up. You can see it's just a bunch of filler brick and stuff like that underneath. You probably can't see anything. That's the back of the rock wall right there. Now, main focus for here is going to be the different levels, because you can see here that this is where it starts, and I'm going to have to finish up this, and that's going to be the first level. However, we need somehow to get up to like this second level where there's going to be this door right here. So we need somehow to get up to this level here from there. Now I was thinking of like huge stone steps that we could build up like there, but I think that would just waste so much space. So let me just explain my idea very roughly. So right here you can see a little bit of like a staircase wall kind of thing right here, and I'm thinking of doing one on each side, so one right here and then one right there, so you'll have like dual staircases on the thing. So that's how you would get to the second level. And then right here in the middle where there aren't staircases, we have like a fountain or something again to break up just normal sidewalk and things like that. So then once you get to the second level, which will be on level with this, with the top of these stairs and with this building right here. This whole section will be one complete level. So Dale will be 2 levels. It will be this level right here, and then it will be that level right there. On this top level, obviously there's going to be this main building of Dale, which you can see it's 1 floor high at the moment. Now I'm thinking of making it 2 floors high. So pretty much double that. Maybe not the same height, but roughly double that to about here. And then there's going to be the dome roof. So if we kind of look at it across, that's what it looks like in perspective to that building. So it's going to be like up here, which the reason being I don't want it too tall is because we don't want it to be obscuring too much from the main part of the MOC, which will be Erebor itself. So I want it to make it look big, but I don't want it to look overpowering in a sense. The roof will be domed, so, well, I don't know, like a circular roof like this one, but much bigger. And I did go to Legoland. You guys can check out my haul from there. And there's an area called Miniland where it's basically just slightly bigger than minifig scale dioramas and stuff. And I went to the Star Wars section, and I was looking at Tatooine, and I found lots of the buildings there had domed roofs. So I took pictures of how they built that, and I think I'm going to try and build it the same way except in dark red. So I think that's going to turn out really nicely. That's probably going to be done either next week or the week after it, depending on whether or not I decide to focus on Dale. Now for this top section up here, I want it kind of in line with this obviously, but it's going to be more of an open area, but I'm going to fill it up with lots of little vendors and markets selling fruit and weapons and things like that. So more of like a medieval market kind of thing. So now that we're done with Dale, I think I just want to finish up by talking about the rest of the stuff that has been done. Alright, so we are back here on the outside, and you can see that I removed this big rock thing that was right here that I said was going to be Ravenhill. I think I've kind of ditched that idea. Me and my friend made the conclusion that it wasn't really going to be a focus anyway, since we do have Dale and then we have Erebor. I don't think having Ravenhill here would add much to the MOC. So instead we kind of just added like a kind of dirt patch using wedges, kind of like a 2-layer. I think that turned out nice. And then the trees are going to be right here. And then speaking about trees, this is the color I want to go for the leaves. I do have plenty of dark green. It's not that I don't have the pieces. It's more that I feel this color will contrast nicely, and it will liven up the whole thing, make it feel a lot brighter in general. So the trees will start, if I just pick this up, will kind of start around here, and then it will move across the river and along this bank. So pretty much covering this whole side right here will be trees. So those are where the trees are going, and you've probably seen this in the middle. This was actually my friend's design, as well as that crystal cave right there. Now, we kind of suggested that this is going to be a swamp, and I think it really turned out nice. The wedges, oh, I just knocked over a tree. Just put it back on. So the swamp is outlined by wedges right here, and you can see that underneath is actually dark green plates. Now they probably look black at first glance, but they are dark green. The river is white with the same color of trans light blue tiles on top of white, and that's what makes it feel really clear and very crystal clear water. However, the swamp right here, we wanted to put a dark color underneath so it feels a little bit more murky and stuff. Now this might change a little bit depending on when we get new pieces and things, we might redesign it, but for the moment that's going to stay right there. And then over here we were just playing around with just a few slopes and stuff. So next thing up is the mountain, and this is it's been long on my mind, and I kind of have come to a conclusion on what I want to do with it, sort of. Now, what I have is these, and see, the main parts that are going to be used is going to be like this one right here. This, I believe they're called 1 by 2 by 3 slopes. I mean, you know what these guys look like. And see, the problem with these that I figured out is that for every 3 it goes up, it goes 1 back. So if this is gonna go up to like all the way up there, it's gonna end up all the way like back here, which is what I don't want, because I want it to be in line with this. So if the rock wall ends up right there, then that doesn't make sense, because then I have to fill up that space right there. So when I looked online, I found out that a good thing we can do is use these slopes, of course, and then you use inverted slopes, so you kind of like reset it. So you go back a little bit, and then you can reset back to 0, and then back a little bit, and then reset. And then overall, it looks fairly flat, which hopefully it will give that kind of idea. Now, it will require a ton of pieces, but that's going to be something later on that we'll focus. Now, also, what I did forget about in my design is this over here. You can see that there's a secret door on the side. So that is right here on the side of the mop, right over here. So this will, in fact, be more like right there, and the rock wall will curve around, and then there will be a platform like right here with the secret door in order to enter Erebor. So, and oh yeah, and then it will kind of curve back around and then be normal again. So that's the idea for that side, whereas that side is just going to be flat front-facing wall. Alright, so that will pretty much sum it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, because I definitely enjoy rebuilding Dale. I think it looks 10 times better, especially with the new elevated wall. I think it looks much more detailed than before, even if the other one was slightly bigger. Now, in terms of what we're going to be doing next week and possibly the week after, like I said last week, we are going to be continuing with the river and the path, because we have some BricKlink orders coming in, so that's going to give us a lot of pieces to be able to finalize those 2 things. Also, we might start on doing a little bit of the interior of Erebor. I think that's going to be something new and exciting. I'm going to have to do tons and tons of experimentation in terms of laying out how everything is going to look. Now, I hope you guys also notice some sort of a boost in content quality. I'm trying to get better video quality, also trying to get more involved with you guys as the audience. Hopefully I don't sound too dull either. Now, I hope you guys, again, enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Go down below, comment on anything you'd like, and give it a thumbs up if you really like this video. So thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.